Hi everyone, welcome back to Quirky Pineapples. If you're new here, I'm Vina, a plant-based recipe developer and food blogger, and I'm back with another What I Eat in a Day. Today, I'm eating whatever I want. We're not focused on protein, we're not so focused on nutrients today, even though I'm still gonna probably catch myself mentioning protein and nutrients and things like that, but it's fall, it's finally cold outside. Well, okay. I live in California, so no, it's probably not cold outside, but it's chilly. And I think that's enough justification for me to start having some more comforting meals in my life. So for breakfast, because I've been craving this for the longest, I'm having French toast. And it has been, man, I don't even know when the last time I had French toast, y'all. So I'm gonna make some French toast today. I'm gonna use the Just Egg, which I haven't purchased in a while because everything is $7 now. And so I was like, I'm gonna splurge, I'm gonna get my Just Egg, and I'm gonna make my French toast today. So yeah, and then I think what for lunch, I always do a sandwich or a wrap or something like that. I think I'm gonna do a TTLA wrap, which is, yeah, I'm feeling that. And then I want noodles for dinner. I'm not sure exactly what type of noodles, but I want noodles for dinner. So yeah, I'm eating however I would like to eat today because, matter of fact, I don't need to justify my eating choices with y'all, right? I can eat what I want, but I want to give you options, right? I want to show you different ways that you can make vegan meals, and that's what this whole thing is all about, giving you ideas on things that you can eat and enjoy. So I've got my coffee, and I know we talked about the coffee before. I don't drink coffee very often, but I'm right in that window right now where I can enjoy a cup of coffee, and I'm probably going to have lots of cups of coffee over the next couple of days until I have to stop having coffee. So today, a nice fresh cup of coffee that I'm having with Husbatron. He's behind the camera again, which is kind of fun. And then I'm gonna make this yummy breakfast. I thought that I'd switch our format up just a little bit because I know some people come here just for the food. And then there's some of you who come here because you want to see a little bit of my life and everything, which is super sweet. But I figured I'd separate those things just a little bit. So in this video, it's just gonna be breakfast, lunch, dinner, the food. If I have any snacks, I'll show snacks and things like that. And then I'm considering, so you guys can weigh in on this, adding in an extra video or two a month here and there where I actually vlog. And of course, I'll include things like what I eat, of course, because that's what we here for. We here for that yummy vegan food. But I know there's some of you who like to get to know me beyond the food, and so let me know in the comments. And don't worry, we'll still do our fruit or vegetable or a fun little emoji later on. But I do want you to let me know in the comments if you would enjoy this format where food is food and life is life. And I'll do some extra vlog videos where I can show you a little bit more of my life as a vegan and as a content creator, which is such a strange thing to call myself, but that is what I do, right? As a content creator, as a food blogger, the business of blogging, which is so much more than what people think it is. And just trying to build this business and build Quirky Pineapples to be what Quirky Pineapples can be. I have so much vision for Quirky Pineapples, but yes, so kind of separating those two things. So please let me know in the comments if you would like it to be that way, where I can show you what I eat in a day, where it sticks to the food, and then I can show you things like my life and my business and things like that in separate videos. That way you can kind of pick and choose what you want. You can kind of, it's like a little buffet for you. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into this breakfast because your girl is hungry. All right, let's go. Alrighty, so I'm making my Just Egg French toast recipe from Quirky Pineapples from my blog. It's a really, really simple recipe. I mean, it's not much different than what I would say is like just a traditional French toast recipe, just with vegan egg. And so I have, in my measuring cup, I have some of the Just Egg and a little bit of almond milk. And so I'm gonna go ahead and pour that in here. And actually, I always have my handy dandy spatula with me because we're not wasting any of this because again, Everything is $7. Actually, I think Just Egg is where I went. I think the Just Egg is like $8 now. So yeah, I don't eat this very often. All right, and then I'm going to add some cinnamon. Seems like an ungodly amount of cinnamon, but you know, flavor. Some nutmeg, all those nice fall flavors, a little bit of sugar, a pinch of salt, not too much, just a pinch to bring out our flavors, and some vanilla bean paste. You can use vanilla extract. Most of the time I use vanilla extract, but I'm all out, and for some reason I always have vanilla bean paste on hand. So a little bit of vanilla bean paste. Again, nice warm flavors. I feel like this is the perfect time of year to actually start having French toast and things like that. I feel like I spent the whole summer eating like overnight oats and all those types of things and granola and muesli, and now I'm just like, I just want a hearty breakfast. All right, so let's give this a whisk. It's gonna look like a swamp until the cinnamon decides that it wants to actually mix in. It's really fighting with me this time. All right, so I have my Just Egg mixture all whisked together. Took a little elbow grease, but that's fine. I'm gonna keep my whisk off to the side just in case I need to stir it again to kind of get my cinnamon and all of that back to the top and back mixed in. So I just have like some regular fluffy bread. I've made this before with vegan brioche when I can find it. I've also made this recipe before with vegan croissant bread, which if you can get a hold of that, make it with that because it is so good. But I'm kind of settling just for some regular soft bread today. I'm just gonna dip it in. I usually don't like to sit mine in it to soak too long, but you can. And then I like to have it on like a fairly low heat when I'm making this because Just Egg does like to stick. And so we'll get it all mixed in here. Picking up a lot of cinnamon and all that good stuff. There we go. Like I have leftover Just Egg and I'm trying to figure out, do I want to use that and make like egg cups or something like that? I'm not sure. I'll figure it out, but I don't want it to go to waste because again, I'm gonna keep complaining about this. Everything is $7 now. But yeah, so I'm gonna cook these on low heat for a little bit, just so that it can form that crust. I'm hoping this is my new cast iron and I'm really excited about it because it's flat and I want to use it for pancakes and French toast and things like that. So I'm hoping that it is still seasoned pretty good, that it'll be nonstick. So that's why I'm starting on a low heat, but it should be fine. As long as your cast iron is seasoned or you have like your stainless steel pan up to the proper heat, it should be nonstick. I don't really use regular nonstick pans in my house. I mean, you can Google that and figure out why, but I like to use cast iron. It kind of makes me feel connected to the ancestors a little bit, like my grandmother and everyone, by having like seasoned cast iron in my skillet. So yeah, I'm gonna cook these for a little bit and then hopefully it'll form like a nice crust and everything. So when I'm ready to flip it, it's not sticking to the pan. So pray for me, y'all. So you guys must not have prayed hard enough because as you can see, I had to switch pans. Ooh, the ancestors, I can just see it now. The aunties up there like, she don't know how to season a cast iron skillet. Yep, I do, but I was really ambitious about the new one. So I had to take these out of the other pan and put them in my more, kind of my OG pan a little bit. And so the issue that I ran into, and it does still stick just a little bit, but not too much, not like the other one was. And I should have known something that I can tell the difference between like my seasoned cast iron skillets and that new one is that there's still a little bit of texture on the surface of the pan. This one it's smooth. And so I'm learning as I go, y'all. I'm learning as I go. So I'm gonna finish up these last two in my more seasoned pan, my better pan. And then, kind of go from there. But I feel so silly. I really wanted to use my flat pan, mostly because I feel like it gives you like a better view. Like you can see the sides of everything. But it just didn't work out like that, and that's okay. But I think I need to cook more things that don't stick, you know, they just don't stick because of the type of foods that they are. I need to cook more items like that on the new pan and really get it like worked down before I start trying to cook things like pancakes and things that are just gonna stick to the pan. So yeah, but she tried. All right, so let's cook these last two. I would say if you were making these for, you know, quite a few people, I'm just making this for Husbandtron and myself. So I cooked them for about 5 minutes on each side to make sure that they cook through. But if you're making these for multiple people and you're not trying to wait that long, then you could just brown them on each side and then put them in the oven on 350 for about 10-15 minutes or so to let them finish cooking in the oven. But there's just two of us, so I don't mind waiting. He doesn't mind waiting, at least I don't think he does. But we don't mind waiting for them to cook on both sides that way. But yeah, so that was my whole spiel about my cast iron skillets. But yeah, so we're gonna finish these up, and then we're gonna keep it basic. I think I'm just gonna do maple syrup and butter, vegan butter, of course. And man, like I'm really excited because like I said, I haven't had these in a really long time, and this is like a tried and true recipe, so I know it's gonna be bomb. Okay, so my French toast is all done, and I'm just putting on a little bit of butter, like I said, vegan butter, and then I'm gonna put some maple syrup on. If you don't have access to Just Egg, no biggie. I have another recipe on porcupine apples for French toast made with chickpea flour, and it's pretty darn good. It has like this nice like kind of crunchy, crispy layer flavor situation going on, and so I would say it's just as good. But the Just Egg recipe just tastes a lot more classic, tastes a little closer to what it is that you might have had as a kid if you ate eggs as a kid and things like that. And so that's why sometimes I like to use Just Egg. But I do have a chickpea flour recipe if, say, you live somewhere where you don't have access to it, or you just don't like to use Just Egg, which sometimes I don't like to because I don't care how good your skillet is. Just Egg likes to stick to your skillet. So like I said, I'm trying to figure out what to do with the rest of the carton. I think I'm gonna make like some vegan egg cups or something like that, or maybe I'll make like a batch of French toast and freeze it for next weekend or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, so I am really excited about having this. So let me go ahead and put my syrup on. Ooh, I didn't mean to put that much syrup on. Okay, so Husbandtron and I always have this whole like debate. Whenever I make things like pancakes and French toast, he's like a real heavy like syrup guy. When I hope, you know, don't come for me. He's a real heavy syrup guy. I personally don't like to have a ton of syrup on my pancakes or on my French toast because I like to taste the thing. And so I'm always like getting on him like, you didn't even taste it yet before, you know, you soak it in syrup. But I like to make these things because I like how they taste. And I kind of feel like if you put too much syrup, it takes away from the flavor. Either that or I'm just like weird in that type of way. So yeah, just it's worth a conversation sometimes. Like, am I weird for that? Or, you know, are the pancakes just a vehicle for the syrup and the butter? All right, let's taste it. Yes, you should try this recipe. It's so good. It's just as good as I always remembered it. Oh, I'm excited about this. Okay, so I'm gonna go enjoy my French toast with my Husbandtron. And then I will be back at lunchtime to make our TTLA wrap instead of sandwich. But yes, oh man, I'm so glad I did this. I really missed having French toast. Yeah, if you can't tell by the look on my face how happy I am in this plate of French toast, I'm telling you, grab the recipe, make it at home. Super easy. Takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it. All right, I'll see you guys back at lunchtime. Okay, so it's lunchtime and I'm going to have my TTLA wrap, which is pretty much what, tempeh, lettuce, tomato, and avocado. And so I just wanted to use lavash instead of bread because, I mean, obviously I had bread for breakfast this morning. And so I've got my avocado, I've got my mayonnaise, some garlic powder and black pepper that I'm going to mix into the mayonnaise because I like to have a garlicky mayonnaise. Kind of like you know, how they make it at Whole Foods. I have some tomatoes and a little bit of lettuce here. I don't know if it's weird that I don't buy like the regular size tomatoes anymore because they don't taste like anything. I find that like the small like grape or cherry tomatoes have like actual flavor in them, maybe because they're smaller. So yeah, I don't really buy the big tomatoes anymore. So I'm just gonna add my tempeh, and then while that's cooking, I'm gonna get all of this all prepped up and ready to go. I'm doing about 5 slices of the smoky tempeh bacon. Ooh, don't want to burn myself. Hold on, let me rinse my fingers. So I'm doing about 5 slices of the tempeh bacon, which I think is gonna give me about, what was that, 15 grams of protein. It's 5 grams of protein in my lavash. I know I said I wasn't tripping about nutrients today. But you know, just so you're aware, right? And then if you wanted more protein, you could add more tempeh and everything. So I think I'm gonna start with the avocado. So let's get this out. It's like nice and ripe. So usually I don't really care if it's like perfect or in slices or anything like that. I'll just kind of mash it and get it on. I wonder if I should do a full avocado. No, that's way too much avocado. I hate that you have such a limited amount of time on your avocado as soon as it's ripe. It's like once it's ripe, you may as well just go ahead and use it that day. I found that I don't buy like the bag of avocados anymore because I'm too afraid that I'm only going to get through 2 of them and then the rest of them are going to go to waste. Which most of the time, if I can catch it before it goes bad, then I freeze my avocados and I put them in smoothies. And they make your smoothies like nice and creamy, which is kind of nice. All right, so I'm just adding some black pepper and some garlic powder to my mayo. Kind of like a lazy aioli, I guess. Righty, and I'll put that off to the side for now. I feel like these need to be flipped, so let's go ahead and flip them over. It doesn't really take long to cook the tempeh. And I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I don't even think you really have to cook it. Like if you were in a hurry, you could just throw it into your wrap or on your sandwich. But I kind of like to brown mine. There we go. And yes, I pulled out my flat pan again because I know that I need to cook on it more. And I think the more that I cook on it, the more it will season down and smooth out so that it's more nonstick. All right, let's cut a couple tomatoes. Lunch, or not lunch, but breakfast this morning was so good. I'm so glad that I finally made my French toast. It's like every weekend I want to make like brunchy breakfast, and somehow I always kind of end up you know, kind of going with things that are a little bit more healthy, but I mean, that's okay. Yeah. All right, so chopping up my veg here. That should be enough tomatoes. I feel like if I do the other 3, it might be a little too much tomato. And then I'm gonna throw on my mayo. I feel like I'm doing that very wrong. It's all right, it's all gonna get wrapped up together. There we go. And then our lettuce, and then I'm just gonna wait for my tempeh to be all cooked, and then I can get it all wrapped in here and have a nice, quick, and easy lunch for today. Okay, so tempeh is all done. I think I can just lay them straight across. I'm still working on my own like tempeh bacon recipe, so I'm just using the Lite Life like smoky tempeh bacon, because I tried making my own and it was okay, but I feel like I'm still working on trying to get that bitterness out of the tempeh, where it doesn't have like, because it has like a natural bitterness to it, getting that out of the tempeh and then getting the flavors into the tempeh. So I'm still working on that. So for now, I'm just using this. Again, I think I've mentioned before, Like from time to time, I will use convenience foods like this or Just Egg and different things like that. And that is totally okay. I really try not to demonize convenience foods because they do come in handy from time to time. Like on days like today when I'm just trying to keep things simple, or if you're just trying to make yourself a quick lunch, it's still nourishing, you know? There we go. Giving it a roll. Stay in there. There we go. And then give it a cut. Ooh. Oh, that's so pretty. So we got like a nice little a nice little tempeh wrap. So I already know what this tastes like. And if you've ever had the TTLA from Whole Foods, then you already know what this tastes like too. It's so good. From time to time, I will go there and grab one for lunch, especially if I haven't had a chance to pack myself lunch that day. The only thing I can't get over is paying $10 for a sandwich. I'm a millennial, so I am of the time of $5 footlongs from Subway and things like that, even though, gosh, you couldn't pay me to eat at Subway now, but like I'm from that time, so paying $10 for a sandwich that is comprised pretty much completely of vegetables just blows my mind. But from time to time you get caught out there and you need something to eat, then I'll get it. But a lot of times I like to make it at home because I mean, it's super easy to make at home, just like we did right now. And so I made it into this nice wrap. I don't know where my tomatoes went in there. They're hiding in there somewhere, but hey, they're in there. All right, so I'm going to enjoy my lunch and then I'm going to see you guys back at dinner time. And like I said, it's going to be noodles. We're going to have noodles. Gonna have some noodles. All right. Okay, so for dinner, I mentioned that I really wanted to have noodles, but I'm not having ramen. I'm gonna have soba, mostly because I've had some soba on hand that I think I got like a month left that I need to use it up. And I mean, I don't know, soba definitely has some better ingredients than ramen. It's basically just water and buckwheat and in this case, yam and salt. So a little bit more nutritious than just having a regular ramen. And so I'm going to make a cashew, kind of like a spicy cashew soba noodle dish. So I have my soba noodles. I've got some stir-fried vegetables. Trying to make this as simple as possible. So I'm pretty sure you're sensing the trend here. Sometimes we pull out the convenience foods. I mean, these I get from Trader Joe's and it's just like a whole bunch of Asian style stir-fry veggies. So there's like broccoli and there's mushrooms and looks like some baby carrots and some peppers and onions, all that good stuff, which is perfect for a noodle dish. And then I've got, of course, cashew butter. I've got some chili oil, some rice vinegar. Yes, it is this big. That is how much we use rice vinegar in this house. Some sweetener. I'm just going to use agave. Sometimes I'll use maple syrup, but I just figured I'd use up the rest of this. Some soy sauce, a little bit of sesame oil, and then I'm going to garnish it with some sesame seeds. And then I have my puffed tofu, which I mentioned before. I love this stuff. It's already like pre-cooked. It's basically fried tofu pieces. And I'm going to cut them open so that they have like this nice spongy texture in the inside that when you put them with broth or like a creamy noodle dish, they kind of suck up the flavor. And it's just really good. And they're really, really high in protein, which is kind of nice. You know, tofu's high in protein in general. And then I have just like some garlic that I'm going to mince and some ginger that I'm going to mince. This is bad. I forgot to put this away, but this is how much soy sauce we use in this house. That we have like the big jug and we just refill our little one here. So it comes in handy quite a bit. It actually comes in handy quite a bit. Just buy it one time and keep refilling. But yes, so I'm going to get started on chopping up some of my vegetables, get my soba noodles on the stove. This doesn't take a whole lot of time besides just sauteing up the vegetables and the tofu just to get it like hot and then mixing up the sauce. All right, so let's get at it. Okay, so I'm just gonna start by chopping my tofu in half. Like I said, I really want it to soak up flavor, so I'm just gonna give them a chop through. There we go. All right, and then I'm just gonna get these in the pan so that they can brown and get all nice and crispy. And we'll get our garlic and our ginger mince. So I've seen this on social media before where people get annoyed at like chefs and cooks when they say, oh, this, very quick and easy recipe, and then you start mincing garlic or cutting an onion. And so, like, I don't know, it doesn't take a lot of time to do these things, but I do get it. Like, no one really wants to do a bunch of chopping and things like that and mincing, but it really just takes a minute or two to do it. And it adds so much flavor, like, it's worth it. But I feel like if you really didn't feel like mincing any garlic or anything, you could just use ground ginger and like garlic powder or something like that in place of the ginger and the garlic. But because I have fresh garlic and I have fresh ginger on hand, I just figured I'd make sure that I add it in. Ooh, my ginger is dry, very dry. So yeah, but the extra flavor that you get from fresh ginger and garlic, it's worth it, I personally think. But I get it, if you're trying to make this a really quick meal, then yeah. And this one, I've been making this one for a while. This one is on the blog. It's under my cashew butter ramen recipe, but I am going to change it just a little bit and add a few extra things. Like I'm adding in, instead of chili garlic oil, which I think is like the sambal, I'm just going to use the chili crunch, that chili onion crunch oil that I get from Trader Joe's. And then we just purchased yesterday it's a chili oil that's just the oil without any of the flakes in it, and I'm kind of curious about trying it. It's just like a chili oil made with sesame oil. But that might be a little too much sesame if I'm adding the sesame oil in. Alrighty. I just realized that I have the heat really low on this, so there's like no sizzling going on or anything in my pan. It was set to like 1. All right, so give it a little bit more of a mince. But yeah, please don't get mad at me. I promise you the recipe is still really easy to make and it doesn't take a whole lot of time, even though you're mincing garlic and ginger. But like I said, you can be a little lazy about it and throw in the powdered versions if you want to. Or I remember I used to purchase where you could just get minced garlic in the jar, and the same thing with ginger too. So if you were just one of those people that just doesn't feel like making that type of effort, then you could use those types of things too. Okay, now things are sizzling. All right, so we're cooking that up, and then I need to get my noodles on the stove because, like I said, this isn't going to take too long. But while this cooks, let's get our sauce going. All right, so my tofu is nice and crispy, so I'm gonna take it off the heat and just kind of sit them off to the side. Ooh, they look so tasty. Okay, and then we're gonna go in with our vegetables. I'm just gonna saute the vegetables. Try and get an equal amount of certain things. There's like carrots in this, corn, these massive pieces of broccoli. That's the only thing, is if someone else is doing all the chopping for you, is that you end up with kind of some crazy looking pieces. Right. Trying to get like a nice balanced amount of each vegetable. There we go. Peppers. Alrighty. I think that should be enough for 2 people. One more broccoli. Okay. And then I'm just gonna let this saute and cook down so it's not super hard and crunchy to eat on. All right, and then let's go ahead and get started on the sauce while that's going. All right, so let's go in with some cashew butter because I really want like a nice and creamy noodles. I'm just gonna leave that there because it's sticky and I don't want to have to try to get it off with my fingers. And then let's do some soy sauce. A little bit of soy sauce, not too heavy-handed on that, even though I do get the low sodium soy sauce. Just like a splash of sesame oil, because this one's toasted sesame oil, so it does have a pretty deep flavor. And then some rice vinegar.
And then, let's see here. I've got my agave. I don't want to put too much in there. About a tablespoon of agave. Now for some kick. This is a half tablespoon. So I'm not gonna go in with a whole like half tablespoon of this, but maybe just a little bit of that. Actually, I kind of want some spice. I'm gonna go in with a half tablespoon of it. That should be good. All right. Somehow I feel like I'm missing something, but I don't think I am. And then I'm just gonna use my whisk. And then what I'm going to do is just give this a whisk to kind of combine everything together. But when my noodles are done, I'm going to use some of the noodle water to loosen it up and really get it to a good consistency. Because right now it's just going to be like a paste. And then once I add in the noodle water, then it'll be more creamy and a little bit more combined from there. All right, so we'll set this off to the side. I'm going to add my garlic and my ginger now, since my vegetables are almost done. They're getting pretty soft. And I put the garlic and the ginger in last because I really just didn't want to burn my garlic and my ginger. So I'm just gonna get that in there now. There we go. Most of the flavor, I didn't put any seasonings or anything into my vegetables because most of my flavor is gonna come from that sauce. And then I'll probably just cook this for maybe a minute or two, like I said, so that I don't burn the garlic and ginger, but just so the flavors can infuse with the other vegetables. And then I'll turn the heat off. Okay, so my soba noodles are ready. My vegetables are ready. I've reserved some of that noodle water so that I can loosen up my sauce. So usually I just kind of play it by ear and just add a little bit at a time to see what's gonna work for me. Oh, this looks good. There we go. Nice creamy broth. And then I've kept my soy sauce and my chili oil off to the side just in case I want to add a little bit more. I always say like recipes are just like a baseline for you, right? They're a baseline and then you can adjust from there based on what it is that you like. Okay, that looks good. That should be good. And in case you're wondering if it looks like I have less tofu, it is because I do, because I was snacking on it while I was waiting for everything to be ready. All right, so let's get our noodles in. The buckwheat noodles are, like I said, really nutritious. I know I said I wasn't going to talk a lot about nutrition in this one, but buckwheat is a complete protein and it is really good for you. So sometimes I like to switch things up and have the soba instead of the ramen. Okay, and then saving the rest for husbandtron. I'm like trying to divvy it up really well. And then let's give it a toss. Ooh, creamy, creamy. All right, let's get some veg in this bowl. Some veg. Veg. I feel like I need to switch bowls, but maybe I'll do that camera. Because I feel like my bowl is too big for everything that I've got going on here. Okay, a few more mushrooms. Yeah, and then let's get my tofu in the bowl. And like I said, the tofu is going to soak up the broth. Like, it's like nice and crunchy. I don't know if you can hear it. Yeah, it's not crispy as much anymore, but it's nice and crispy. Oh yeah. Ooh, I'm excited. Okay, so yeah, now we've got a bowl of goodness. We got our buckwheat soba noodles and that nice cashew butter broth, veggies, that tofu. Ooh, I'm excited to get into this. I don't have a fork or chopsticks with me. Hold on. So I got my chopsticks, which I really love because I got them from Japan. They're these cute little Hello Kitty chopsticks that I got from Japan. I feel like I mentioned that trip a lot now, but mostly because it was such a great trip and I really can't wait to go back to Japan. But yes, so it's time for a taste test, even though, yes, I've tasted this before because it is my recipe. But why is the mushroom stuck on there? Okay. Yes, yes. And then that spongy tofu. All right, so I'm ready to dig into this. I'm very excited about eating my dinner tonight. But yes, so hopefully this video gave you some great ideas on what you can eat. There's so many different things that you can make vegan, so many simple ways to make them vegan. Like our French toast is usually made with egg, but you swap some things out. And I mean, if I'm being honest, no, it doesn't taste exactly like vegan French or taste exactly like regular French toast, but it was bomb either way. So like all of these things that we change up and make them vegan, they can be just as good as something that isn't. So yeah, so I hope you found this video helpful for these recipes, especially for this cashew butter ramen, or in this case, cashew butter soba, and my just egg French toast recipe. You can find that on quirkypineapples.com. If you stayed this long with me in the video, then, oh gosh, what did I decide on? No, don't turn it off. What did I decide on? We were just talking about garlic. There we go. If you stayed this long in the video, drop a garlic clove. And yes, I checked this time. It is in the emojis. Drop a garlic emoji in the comment section. Also, please don't forget to give me your feedback if you would like me to continue with this particular format of filming my What I Eat in a Days, where we just stick to the food. And then, like I said, I'm working on doing some filming of my life a little bit more so that you can get a vlog from me from time to time that's a little bit more centered around who I am as a person. But just let me know in the comments. I'd find that to be really, really helpful. Also, tell me what your favorite convenience foods are when it comes to vegan foods, whether it's a mock meat, whether it's a vegan egg, or sometimes buying pre-chopped vegetables, whatever it is. Let me know what your favorite convenience food is. But yes, I appreciate you so much for joining me again. Again, please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Check out the recipes on quirkypineapples.com. If you haven't already signed up for my free plant-based grocery guide, make sure that you do that. It's super, super helpful. All you do is throw in that email address and you get it completely free. And it is a really, really helpful guide. But yeah, I appreciate you guys joining me for yet another one of these. Again, I hope you found that it was helpful, especially on your plant-based journey. And thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day.